Where did you go with us, and how did that experience impact your life?
Went to Haiti. One thing that impacts me the most about missions is that you almost prepare yourself to give so much of yourself, and in the end you come home realizing that you took more than you actually gave. You come back completely transformed. Your needs become nothing, become obsolete. You realize how good we have it, no matter how much we complain on a daily basis about our government, about our social status, our financial status. But when you have the opportunity to go see what it's like on the other side, you realize how blessed you are and how little of yourself we are giving to the work of the Lord, to the kingdom, and to those in need.
So Nick, I remember the first time you went to West Virginia. When you came back, there was some type of transformation that took place, and I remember you said something happened to you out there. Can you tell me what it was? You remember what you said to me when you came back?
The second trip?
The first trip. Very first trip you went. What did you find in West Virginia that you had lost before you went?
I smiled.
You smiled. And you haven't stopped smiling since.
Nope.
And to me, that was just an amazing thing. So why don't you tell me what happened? I mean, how did you find your smile there?
I guess I put my body into work, and I knew I can put my body into work. Even though if it would be like the simplest things, like Alex Sr., even the simplest job, get the dirt, but all the way in the mountain. Like my third trip, there was no more dirt. So I'm just here digging. I don't know what I'm doing about doing a good job, so I just kept doing it.
So how did that trip impact your life? When you came back, were you the same guy you were as when you left?
No.
What changed? What changed?
I'm more passionate about things, and I can't remember the last thing I've given up on.
Wow.
Awesome.
That is awesome. And I see you go out and do yard work when nobody asks you to do. What's up with that?
I've been slacking lately, but...
Well, your dad told me to ask you that question. That's why I threw it out there.
No,
Definitely talks more.
Thanks, Alex.
A lot more.
Well, that's good. I think that a lot of the young people that went with us, there was no criticism on the job that they've done, and I think sometimes, Nick used to would say, the parents would say this and this and that, but there was no criticism because there's nothing wrong that you're really doing. You're out there doing a job, for someone, and I think he felt very much appreciated, and I think that's probably one of the things that brought his smile back, and also that we loved on him so much because he was, he's a really great kid, and we got to know. I think for us, what it does, it bonds us to each other because we're living day in and out. We're working on we're in this environment that we're working hard. We're doing things out of our comfort zones, and we learn to bond, and not only with ourselves but with the people that we're helping. I mean, I've been to West Virginia twice, and on our first mission trip, we helped two elderly gentlemen, and I mean, we could have. One of the guys was really, really rude, and we could have had the attitude also like him and be rude back, but we didn't. We showed him love. We kept smiling through it and everything else. And at the end, all that broke him because he could not withstand how much we put love on him, and we did everything with pleasure. And at the end, he broke down and finally cried and thanked us for just doing this with somebody that we didn't know.
I'll add something like you talked about Haiti sometimes, seeing things in Haiti. The one trip when I was there, a group of people went out from the one compound and went into a slum village, which I think we all know what slum villages are. And they came back, and at the end of the day, they had a postmortem. And the one lady was saying, they had food, they were going to take it to the single mother, and the single mother said, I don't need any. And they just looked at her saying, Why not? Well, the lady down the street, if she has extra, she gives it to me. Think about that. I'm sorry.
We throw our leftovers away over here.
There was a gentleman, Pastor Ramon Crespo, who was the very first guy I worked with in the mission field. He turned to me once I got to Haiti and put a 100-pound bag of food on my back and said, walk as far as you can and give it up. And so that's what we did every day in extremely hot conditions. It was 5 days after the earthquake, and came back the first day and he just looked at me and he said, now that you've seen it, you are responsible. He said, you can never go home and lay your head on your pillow and act like it doesn't exist. And I really feel that it is part of my responsibility to expose that to as many people as I can. Because we can turn the blind eye to it and act like it doesn't exist, but once you've seen it, you are responsible. In whatever way, shape, or form, we're all called to the mission field, which starts at the mantle of our own door, and I get that. And your workplace is a mission field, and your family is a mission field. But none of us can say that we don't know it exists. None of the people in this room. And so a question I have is, why? For you. Why, if I have never been in a mission field, why should I go?
The question was why go? And I don't know how everybody else feels, but when I was there, I felt God so much in a different way. And you know, they say God winks. Mm-hmm. Well, it just was all cute to me. And I would cry at anything because it was a private thing that he was showing me and letting me appreciate. We were selling lunch for the youth to raise the money to go. And so I remember making pastelillos. And when I was a young girl, I always said, oh, I want to be a nun. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, but we got there and we got to be with the nuns.
Yes, we did.
And I got to go in the kitchen, and what did we make? Pastelillos with the nuns. It's like, I was so happy. I'm like, I'm making pastelillos with the nuns. And then we made limbes. And Pastor Ramon was like, you guys gotta eat this fruit. And we felt so bad to eat the food. And then when we saw the price of the cheese on it, it said like $75. I'm like, nobody's eating that cheese. You leave that for them. But he said, you gotta eat this fruit. Look, this pineapple, this is banana, this is this. Mango. And he says, you know how to make limbes? This is how we got here with limbes, you know? And he cut the pineapple, he says, you boil the skins. And ever since then, I'm like, we're making limbes. The natural way, the Haiti way, you know? And I made the mango limbes and the kids loved them. And it was just neat. Like, God, you winked at me the whole time. And it was like an intimacy with him. Like only things that he knew I would appreciate, he let me see.